Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for episode 117 of Tattoo Collecting 101 right here on Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Network. We beam out nearly every day, so be sure to check out the YouTube event as well as reinventingthetattoo.com for the full schedule of events we got going on the channel here. If you haven't joined us before, Reinventing the Tattoo is a community for tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and everyone curious about the world of tattooing. So be sure to share this out with everyone that you think is interested as we aim to educate and inspire one another to create better artwork and to leave the community a better place than how we found it. So thank you to Guy Atchison for the platform for us to do this show.
Can we change that one line to Tat Curious, please?
To the Tat Curious.
To the Tat Curious. I just feel like that would be a very minor improvement to your introduction, sir.
We can do that. We can
Other than that, you're getting silky, Bubby.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
yeah, it's coming along. What are we gonna do with when the intern gets this down,
Nothing.
Pat?
Make fun of him for something else. I mean, mold and sculpt and grow him into a better human
Nice, nice. Well, we had a lot going on last week. So it's like we had a lot going on in our own lives, but not a lot going on in the tattoo world. I was going to beam in and show a little bit of the setup in Philly.
being.
However,
Except
we found out that the floor closed at 6, so that wouldn't have worked out.
Philly was
at all.
like, nah, bruh.
Nope. So
And Philly was amazing.
Philly was amazing. I got a lot of super good footage.
It was definitely one of those shows that my social medias were like, okay, guys, I get it. I missed it. Fine. I understand. It looked like a really good time. Looked really, really well put together from the other side of the coin, if you will.
I mean, the villain arts shows are always, they're like a well-oiled
Yeah, they're
machine.
standards.
Yeah, it's a know what to expect kind of. Yeah,
Well-oiled machine. You started the sentence correctly.
yeah. I'm just trying to put into perspective. You haven't been to Philly, correct?
Not Philly, no.
Okay. So we talk about some of the other villain art shows. We talk about Hell City a lot. We talk about Motor City a lot. But some of these events that we talk about have, 100 booths,
Right.
or 150 or 200 booths might be
Right.
a big one. There were 1,000.
That is insane.
Yeah. So fortunately Friday, as I was trying to gather footage, I was I should go ahead and get the lay of the land a little bit before this gets busy. It's going to be elbow to elbow tomorrow. I was right. It was a good thing that I kind of walked around and got the footage that I got before it was full, because it got busy. And then as it got
Good.
busy, the artist powwow and the connecting starts happening, where it's I'll have a place to go, or I want to go up to the stage and catch this thing that's going on.
Right.
I can't even make it up there. We're close to the front where the first things that you walk past, we're in a good spot, but we're the
Right.
opposite end of the stage. So when there's something cool going on and I want to capture it, I can't even make it up there.
This journey.
Yeah, I can't even make it up there. And for all the best reasons, because I'm gonna run into somebody, or
Right.
something's gonna catch my eye, or I gotta stop and film this other thing, or
That's half the job of hanging out with Derb at Hell City.
I'd be
it's
walking
been-
around with Derb.
Being able to hey, we've got a place to be. I know you're in the middle of a conversation, but it's time to go politely and quickly and without.
Couthly.
Yeah, that's a hard one to do sometimes when you don't know the relationship with the person. You know what I mean? And you're like, hey, bud, I know you've known him since you guys were 12, but
Is there some place we have to be?
I do believe we are already 7 minutes late.
It's funny when it'll be something like Derb was judging one of the competitions, and not the tattoo competitions, one of the other things that was going on. But anyways, for him to make his way up to
Oh.
the stage, everybody knows Derb's face and stuff,
Right.
unless you happen to watch the show or happen to be following Reinventing. I can still move through a crowd pretty it's getting trickier to move through a crowd unnoticed, but I can
Hood's
still move
up.
through a crowd unnoticed pretty easily. Yeah, hood up,
I have
nose
never
down.
in my life had that problem and move through the crowd very well and lead with my pointy parts.
Your elbows.
and I am a giant human being.
It's
so-
funny if you like lead with a camera, people will just let you through.
Yep.
Like maybe that's just what I should do all the time when I want to get through a crowd is just have a camera in
It's
my
the
hand,
same
even
with
if
the
I'm not
ladder.
recording anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. That's like a
Yeah.
golden ticket.
If you are carrying, and we've all seen the YouTube videos. I'm not going to perpetuate it, but like, yeah, you can do anything you want. If you're carrying a ladder and wearing a reflective vest,
Or a clipboard.
throw a motherfucking walkie-talkie in there. We're running half the city, guys. I really think it would.
Can I have an earpiece with a little curly cue? Can I have that?
Absolutely. That means you're in charge. So
Yes. Yes.
I
But
would,
it's like bacon charge, so I'll take it.
I think we should get a set of walkie-talkies one day and like go take over a big park. Just fun, nothing harmful in any way, shape, or form.
We need a cleanup outside of the penguin enclosure.
For whatever it is, and just like have a gag of people on our own line and just, you know how much fun that would be.
They'd quickly jump lines on us, though.
That's
I want to put a CB in Fandango.
okay. I'm in. I had a handle.
I got
Oh,
one. My
yeah.
stepdad gave me one last time I was hanging out in his garage. I was like, is this a brand new old CB radio? He's like, "Psh, yeah.
So like I got tools. What else do we need?
I think I need a CB in my van.
No. I just meant like to complete this project.
Yeah, I hear you. I
You
think
have the
between
CB?
us, we have the know-how
I don't know about
and
the
the
know-how.
figure it
I
out
have
ofness.
the
Is that a
YouTube
word?
is-
Figure it out to
Yep.
ness.
I have YouTube. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna YouTube how to install an old.
I'm imagining
radio.
it is one wire to an antenna
I bet
and
there's like
about the same as installing a car radio.
no, there
Pretty
is
Gucci.
for I'm gonna need 2 wood screws for the project at some point. It's a
You
given.
know it. That's 'cause
2 woods. You
that's
can't
'cause
fix
Fandango is
anything
quality.
without wood screws.
It's got that wood trim. Yeah. And no project's a project without 2 trips to the hardware store. So why are we even kidding ourselves? You think we're gonna get a list together ahead of time and it's gonna actually have everything on it? Nah, fam. Let's just wing it.
Okay, we'll wing it. I've got an Ace not too far from my house.
We can walk to Lowe's from my place. You can pretty much throw a rock at it.
I really like this little hardware store.
I do
Come
too.
up with
Ace is the shit.
excuses to go there. Like
Um,
sometimes it's like, I just want a Stewart's orange soda. Hardware store.
Papa, when they moved out of state, got a job at an Ace as his like need to get away from the house kick it job. They loved it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I could get I worked at a Menards
Yeah.
before I
You
tattooed.
made big money at.
I mean, I wouldn't say I made big money at it, but like I was unhappy at the job. So I don't know what the money was worth.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like I would much rather tattoo. Like my worst day of tattooing is better than my best day of humping 2 5-gallon buckets of flat industrial paint up a ladder.
That's fair. I am kind of over being employed just in general. Like it's just not something.
You had an eventful week.
It's just not something I want to do anymore. I think I am going to start looking into, I don't know, not working somehow. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? So I'm going to put it into the universe that I don't want to work anymore. And I would like that I still live in abundance. So we'll see how those 2 things line up. We'll put it out there and see how it goes, because being employed is fucking stupid.
Well, we
And it's
need
not
to
even
get the
the
ball
job.
rolling on these snails.
It's not even the job. Like my job is sweet. The people I work for are sweet. For the first time in a long time, I actually like it. But like now it's dumb. Everything involved.
Well,
Oh,
that's how the cookie
people that
crumbles
don't know, I
sometimes.
got rear-ended by a tow truck. at
Oh, I
work.
didn't know if we were talking about
No, that's
details
cool.
or
We
if
can
we were
run
just
it.
going to keep it like a vague, you were having a bad week.
Now let's run it. I got hit by a tow truck at work last Tuesday.
Look what happened to my cup.
Is he leaking?
No, I put it in the microwave for 1 minute and I radioactivated and almost burned down my Tim's cup.
Should you be drinking it?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't really be drinking anything that you've blasted with radiation, but my coffee was cold and I wanted it to be
I've
warm.
had 17 x-rays this week. You shouldn't even be sitting next to me.
Well, you got your old man thermos that keeps coffee warm for like 17 days.
Should
That is
I make a
true.
fresh pot?
That is true. Fair. Fine. I got extras. You
No,
want
I'm
one?
good. Thanks though. Yeah. Extras.
Extra thermoses. I have a plethora of old man thermoses and I'm willing to share.
You know, I don't doubt that. I bet you do. I bet you've
Yeah.
been through like every variety because like
This is the new one.
hikes, the appropriate size for the day.
Mainly, how long do I need coffee and how much of it do I need to carry?
So I've got one of those mugs that it like is supposed to keep things hot for like 36 hours or something absurd
It's
like
too
that.
much.
Well, in my old shop, I figured if it's supposed to keep things hot that long, it should keep them cold equally as long. So I would just bring a thermos full of creamer
I love
and
it.
then I'd pour it into my fresh coffee all day
Love it.
long. So I just like knew my creamer was going to be cold until the end of the day.
That's amazing. You use the system backwards.
Yeah, it worked great.
I don't like the like these are cool because you're not supposed to drink out of this. And I transfer coffee from this into either the cup it comes with or a separate cup, right? When you have like the vacuum insulated mugs
Mhm.
that keep things hot for 32 hours, every time I take a sip of it, it burns my mouth. And I want coffee now, not coffee in 6 hours.
Well,
And I've heard it. Put an ice cube in it.
no, just add more cream to that thing. You're good to go.
Cream.
Yeah.
Fine. Cream.
I know you take your coffee black, but like I'd like it to be like
Well, you're not
creamy and
have 100
delicious.
pounds on you. You can have as much cream.
You
as
do not have
want.
100 pounds on me. So I want to talk about something cool that happened. I
Bet
got
you
some
never-
snail mail today. No, you don't have 100 pounds on me.
Oh,
I got one of those.
Not
too.
even close. Look,
What'd you
our
get?
awesome friend Medusa sent me this Care Bear. Look at it.
That's super rad.
Look at his little eyes. Look, can you switch to this camera?
Good job, Kyle.
Thanks, Medusa. This is awesome. I gotta like write you a personal message to thank you, but I wanted to talk about it on air. Medusa's been just like cranking stuff out like crazy lately.
Mhm.
And
She
she's like
does,
incredibly
she
versatile.
does.
She works in a whole bunch of different different mediums. Do you want to pull up Medusa's Instagram handle?
Cool.
We've talked about Medusa before. She jumps on Ricardo's show pretty often. I
I've seen her
think
a
she
couple
jumps on
times.
James Wisdom's drawing group, if you
She
will.
all about reinventing.
Yeah,
That's
she's
tight.
and she's in California, so she's always 3 hours behind. So it means like when we're like getting up and lollygagging around, she's like getting up super early to participate and learn and contribute. And she's hilarious too. I
That
love
is-
what she brings
that
to
is
all the
also
shows
very
that she
cool.
joins us.
Oh, look at that skull.
Look at that Daria. It's fantastic.
Oh, she sent me this one right here, this little skull mushroom.
Nice.
That
Open
was-
it up.
Yeah, that was my little postcard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at that skull snail, Ben. Look at how appropriate.
See, you could be doing those, Ben.
With the little Amanita.
I want
Boom.
that in my life.
Well, it's in Kyle's life.
You can come over and look at it.
Thanks, Kyle.
Medusa's out in Portland. But she's definitely gonna be traveling more and things like that. But she's awesome.
Super cool. Super cool.
So you guys want to jump into some of the Philly footage?
Show me Billy.
Okay, let me see if I can do this appropriately.
I believe in you. It's the
Do
eye
you?
of the tiger, it's the pride of the fight.
Oh, I gotta move this.
To the challenge of our rivals. I thought you had it. I didn't know I had to keep singing.
Sorry. Well, I almost had it.
Oh, so
There we go. All right. So, well, I'm going to try and be smooth about this. And while I am screen sharing this, I'm going to grab the camera so I can share the rest of our footage. So we'll see. We'll see how we go
Make sure you screen share the sound.
with the sound. Yep.
Look at Fawn being all technically.
Trying, guys. I'm a slacker at this stuff.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, so
Here's
share
all the
sound,
things.
do this one. Boom. Share.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, dang.
Oh, hey there.
So, welcome to the Villain Arts Tattoo Convention, the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention, one of the biggest conventions in the country. Hope you guys can hear me all right. It's kind of loud in here. We've got about 15,000 people walking up and down the aisles. Not all at once today, obviously, but we've got about 1,500 artists here, roughly 1,000 booths, and it should be an absolutely amazing time. You know, all types of people, all walks of the earth, all types of tattoo styles and fine art being displayed here today. Should be an absolutely amazing time. I can't wait to get started.
Nice. I'm pretty impressed with myself so far.
Good job, Fawn.
Now, I could have been just a touch more prepared, but here we go.
Just trading my coffee cup for the same size. That was almost really bad.
All right.
So walk me through. Is this like front entrance?
This was kind of my first walkthrough with the camera on Friday. So this was really, really early Friday. Just trying to get in the lay of the land. Yeah, Derp just walked up on us. We're kind of sharing our footage from over the weekend.
Looking at Billy stuff for Billy.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Great show.
So we
Humongous, man.
got in
Humongous.
Thursday night after they had already closed the floor. And we happened to be like the very first ones in to get the hand stamps. Troy was training the facility staff with my hand.
Aw.
Yeah. So it pays to get up early, I guess.
This is what you do, and you can't see their hand, and it's fully tattooed.
Well, usually
Thank you.
when we go to shows, like it's nice to travel with Derb and Brian and Jess because like we get there, we'll set up the night before and we don't have anything to worry about the morning of. This show, we didn't get a chance to set up the night before because like traveling takes time and yada yada. But we got there early. We got a lot of help unloading everything because it was like a union staff at the show. So they unloaded everything with a forklift, like palletized it, moved it. And then it took us like almost no time to set everything up. Set up real smooth and fast. And we still had like several hours of time to kill and just visit with other artists and other vendors
Nice.
before the show opened to the public. So here's Jason Leeser. He kind of introduced us a little bit. When I start getting the second day's footage, I keep pretty close tabs on the project that he's working on Wit, who's come to a few art nights at Red Tree, and she joins in on a lot of the reinventing shows as well.
Trophies galore. How many competitions were there?
All of them, Ben.
All of them.
All of them.
How
All
many
the competitions.
categories? How many categories?
Oh, that's a good question. I should, like I said, we were so far away from the stage that I didn't spend as much time with the competitions as I thought I would. But there's a lot of categories at the Villain Art shows. I could pull up an itinerary and answer that question
I'm
better.
looking.
Good job, Kyle.
There's Troy Temple on his little scooter. He's the show organizer, promoter.
We're gonna have to
It's
slow your
his
fan
circus,
down.
in other words.
You're making me dizzy here a little
Sorry.
bit.
Sorry.
There we go.
I felt like I was always in the way of something.
And that's every show I've ever been to
Oh,
of
ours
all
is.
times. Like, I always feel like I'm in the way.
It's crazy how many artists were there. Brian and I were handing out samples and stuff as we always do, and we only made it through a third of the show before like we were exhausted and totally out of samples.
Right. Jeez. Everybody gets one thing.
One sample,
49 competitions.
49 different categories.
Hey, that's Keith. I know that guy. I'm just kidding. I totally made all that up.
Look at this sea of people. They just keep going and
Insane.
going and going. It was such a big show. I can't really
I see Captain and Maybell were there.
yes, of course.
How are they?
I didn't get it. I mean, we definitely said our hellos, but I didn't really get a chance to hang out with them too much.
Big show. It's hard to.
Jess and Brian killed it in the booth. I helped a little bit in the booth and walked around and got footage and got drug away for things a lot.
You got drugs away?
No, I got drug away.
Oh, drug.
I'd walk around with Derb and then we'd get stopped every 5 feet or,
Gotcha. Less fun.
mhm. I was hanging out in the reinventing area and we got a great interview between me and Chris Taylor. It was going to be me talking to him about the show, but it turned into him asking about my tattooing roots and garden and trees. And
Oh,
so that might get edited up and turned into something. It also might just get transcribed, so it makes a little bit more sense than just me rambling on for a half hour. It's 20 minutes of diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle.
but that's the best ones.
Could be.
How's Chris?
Oh, Chris is always awesome. He's always excited about life and tattoos, and we got to get him on the show again soon.
I missed the guy.
Yeah, he's super stoked about some new property he bought. It used to be a campground.
Yeah,
So he's trying to
a little jealous. Just throwing it out there.
yeah, I gotta make it out for a visit.
We should plan a camp out. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. Let's do reinventing live.
Here's
from
what we can do.
outside.
We can go camping
can.
together. I'll drive my van and park it close to a tree, and then you can hang your hammock from between the van and the tree, and I'll be in the van, protected from the elements. You'll be safe and sound in your cocoon of
I'm sure I can find
Warmth.
trees. Not that I don't want to attach to your van, but I'd rather not shake every time you move. Not me, Jelly Bean.
fair,
Trees don't move.
fair. I mean, they sway.
They,
Have you seen those videos of
not
trees
ones I
walking
put
down
my-
hills?
yes, I have.
Crazy.
Just making their way.
There was a lot of really good work. This was tattoo of the day lined up. And they broke it up into 2 categories. So there was tattoo of the day, black and gray, and
Whoa.
tattoo of the day color.
That's
um,
nuts.
There were,
Guyana.
literally thousands of artists working here, and everybody was really doing killer work.
Nice.
I guess one of the things I was prepared for with such a big show is I expected it to be a whole bunch of heavy hitters and then a whole bunch of mediocre, just because it was such a big show. But man, everybody really was showing off and pulling the best of their tricks out of their pocket.
I am proud that the industry is raising its standards enough to that there's this many qualified artists now. Because in a room of 1,000 booths, you know what I mean? That's tough
Every
to do.
single one is just A+ after A+ after A+. Different styles, different genres, but there's
So what does that
every
attest
artist
to,
came
Paul?
to show out.
That it's worth doing your homework and find somebody that does shit you like.
I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what that means.
So if you are like, man, I really love Star Wars because of what's on the screen, and I really like black and gray, and that's a really dope black and gray Star Wars tattoo. Don't go to the full saturation color neo tat artist and be like, hey, can you do this? Find somebody that does what you like.
Absolutely.
Have them do that. That's dope.
I feel like earlier this week, I was going through some messages. I was catching up on stuff from over the weekend. Oh, look at this. I love the way that this chrysanthemum was drawn.
Lines on lines.
Yes, very beautiful, very flowy.
Perfect. It fits that spot so well.
But I was going through some messages and I found somebody had messaged me on my Facebook Messenger, and the idea that they sent me was a great idea. It was black and gray. It was dark. It was detailed, but it's like, I'm not really doing this kind of stuff, but you know who is?
Right.
Dante.
I got you, guy.
So, I mean, we're fortunate here at Red Tree, like if somebody hits us up for something that's like outside of our wheelhouse, odds are one of my coworkers is going to be a good fit. You know,
Right.
we've got such an eclectic
There's
team.
not a genre slack in this house. Like you can't. There's somebody that's an expert in pretty much anything I can think of here. if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to like, and not just say like, no, I can't do that, but to offer them an option who would not only do it well, but probably do it better than I would have to begin with. Like I have had periods in my career where I did a whole bunch of heavy, dark, black and gray, and I was working in that like rich chiaroscuro all the time. But you know, right now my brain is kind of in these overcomplicated full color daydreams.
Right.
You know, like I don't
Fair.
know. I just enjoy it more in this period of my career. Like I really enjoy doing color stuff. So that's
So
yeah, there's a lot of rad work.
well, and that's kind of my point by saying like have somebody do something they're working on. Like I'd rather have you be like pumped on the project than I don't want to say forcing it. That's not the right word.
Faking it.
Just doing it because you asked.
I mean, I think like for young tattooers, I kind of joke around sometimes. Like when somebody asks you, what's your style? You should say
You don't
challenge
know.
accepted.
You don't
That
know
should be your style.
yet.
You should say challenge accepted because you're still early in your career and you're still figuring out what you even want to do. So like when you're early on, I think you should take as many different styles and genres because I did, and I learned so much from each one of
Right.
those. And now like when I'm doing these things that are just like crazy abstract daydreams, I've got all of those bags of tricks to pull from, not just like one or two. I can, you know, put almost like different style artists hats on and use tricks to make things that, you know, might seem impossible. I don't know.
Great.
It's okay. Get comfortable, Ben. Oh, there's our buddy Adam.
How's he doing?
Oh, this is day 2. This is Saturday. Adam's doing great.
Good.
This is the line wrapped around the building.
Welcome to Philly. Welcome to Philly. There's a fucking ton of people. Welcome to Philly.
Look at this line. And it was like that all day long. I go out later on. I might have been with Chris at the time, but we're walking outside and I come to that corner and it's several hours later in the day and there's still a line like that piling in. It was like a constant, like it never caught up. It was just people herding in the whole day, filling the
Jesus.
building. I mean, there were points where it was literally like all the aisles as far as you could look would be elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder, you know, and it'd be like these rivers of people that just moved. You know, it's kind of cool, like from a social standpoint, to see that many like-minded people gathering.
Huh?
And like, yeah, we're elbow to elbow. Yeah, this is like, you know, groups of people. There's all these stigmas right now, but there are so many like-minded people that are just passionate about this art and passionate about this industry.
Right.
So like we talk about the unspoken brotherhood that we have. This was the biggest gathering in the world of that brotherhood.
Right.
It was kind of crazy.
It's nuts. When it's even just to be in that kind of room, you're gonna find exactly your thing. No matter what that thing is, you're gonna find it in that section. So to have the availability if you're in some weird niche, or not weird to you because you love it. And I didn't mean to disrespect your weird niche.
Unique corner of the art
Unique.
realm.
And I love it, man. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, big crowds.
Ben, I
Yes, ma'am.
kept my clothes on almost all weekend. I know. I only took my clothes off once,
One time.
but like in
You
that
didn't
one
shower
time.
the whole time you were there.
Well,
Fuck.
I mean, at the show,
Only one.
in public. Let me rephrase. I only took my clothes off in public one time.
I see that you wanted to do it once. Because in a crowd that size, y'all have fun.
I mean, I don't know how we got on the topic. Oh, we were talking about Guy and somebody was saying how much they love Guy's work. And I was like, oh, I gotta show you my armpits because I feel like it's appropriate in this context. You know how hard it is to show your armpits off and stay clothed?
It's
You can't.
extremely.
Yeah, you can't
unless
do
you're
it.
Wearing a tank top,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and that's it.
I did happen to be wearing a bra. I'm not always, but in that moment I was wearing a bra, so I could just like disrobe. But then, you know, once I disrobe, I gotta like show off my cheekies because I can't really show off my back without showing off like the whole thing.
Right. Once it's out, it's out.
It's at once it's out of the bag.
That's a good thing. I still have been long sleeves and pants at my new job the whole time.
So they may not be aware of how
I'm just waiting.
how much flair you have.
A lot of flair.
A lot of flair.
I exceed the minimum amount of flair for the office.
Well, it's better to exceed it than to be like underwhelmed with flair.
Want to do the bare?
There's
minimum.
Carl checking out the freak show.
Ooh, go into freak show.
Yeah, they had all kinds of cool stuff in there.
That seems sketchy.
I feel like it wasn't that sketchy.
It probably wasn't, but you know what I mean. Come step into my dark tunnel.
So many cool things.
Those are cherubs. Did I say that right?
Which
Little beetle thingies.
scarabs?
Scarabs.
Cherubs are little
Cherubs
angels.
are fat angels, aren't they? Little baby fat angels.
Little baby
Oh,
pet.
like that. There was one on her leg. That was funny.
Speak of the devil.
Well, it's not. We were talking about angels. We gotta fucking like, what'd you do, Paul?
It was a scarab and a cherub.
Correction.
Both and.
Yes, is the right word. My goodness, my goodness.
Sorry, my pans are too fast. I'll slow it down next time, Ben.
I ain't mad at you.
I'll be
boo.
more thoughtful with
We're
the
just
slow
Just
pan.
spinning around the convention.
Well, you know,
There's a lot going on. It's hard to focus on everything. Camera speed, people, booths.
this is me strategically trying to like blip in places where I could get an angle where it wasn't
Right?
packed.
I also have gotten knee glasses and I'm still adjusting, so everything's a little wonky.
Wonka? A little wonka? I don't know. Maybe we've got some compression issues because like on the camera, it doesn't seem near as choppy over here. Maybe I'll play around with some settings and see what we're pushing this at.
Yeah, what she said.
I'm just saying, I'm just troubleshooting and problem solving, thinking aloud while we're
Good job.
talking.
Just
seas of people getting tattooed. Look at this little kid.
Look. These are all good sized booths for 1,000+ booths.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're not crammed in there. I've
Yeah,
seen
they're
some
10 by
people that are
10.
like, yeah, we've got 500 artists, and they're like a
In
one.
an 8x8.
Yeah,
I mean, and I'm not knocking it. Sometimes size constraints of locations and venues, but like these were, we had room and then we
What-
took up every bit of the room.
what was the venue?
The Philly Convention Center.
Humongous.
There was also a car show going on at the same time at the other end of the convention center,
Baller.
which is kind of, I like it when the car crowd and the tattoo crowd kind of overlap. When we do the Detroit show every year, the Autorama's going on at the same time. So
Right.
it's nice to like, you know how I kind of nerd out about dorky cars. So it's nice to like share the elevator with those people and be like, oh, you're from the Autorama? And they'll be like, yeah, what are you doing in town? I'm like, I'm here for the tattoos. And they'll be like, tattoos. And I'll be like, cars.
Shall we swap stories?
Mhm. And then, because, I have friends in the car industry, like I actually have stories and I can hold my own with some of them. And
Right.
they'll start talking about their stories and I'll be like, have you been to SEMA? And they'll be like, no, I've always wanted to go.
So let me tell you about last year. I had barbecue.
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 Indubitably. Look at these huge banners. It's so crazy. Those were like the landmarks. It'd be like, hark,
What quadrant are you in?
what quadrant art thou?
Again, I'm going back to we need walkie-talkies.
I mean, I feel like we'd get carried away if we had walkie talkies. We can text each other in a group message. That's pretty
No.
fly.
Way.
But I
is that
feel like-
applicable?
I feel like if we had walkie talkies,
What? We would have fun.
We would
do you
have
hate
fun.
Fun.
you know, I
Fun?
just, here's what I feel like would happen if you set us loose with some walkie talkies in a situation like this. First of all, before we knew it, you and Derb would be like having a paintball war with true grips and
Why does that? Why is the violence?
and then
immediately?
next thing that would evolve is it would turn into an all-out jujitsu match, and then the walkie-talkies
How
would
is
be
that-
flying.
How does that have anything to do with the walkie-talkies?
It's just gonna perpetuate any shenanigans even faster, because that's what happens when little boys play with walkie-talkies.
But-
So it would be even faster with big boys who are trained to physically like tuck each other's heads in their pockets.
Like I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying,
The
it get
amount of
dangerous quick.
times-
It turn into combat games.
It would turn into. What it would do would turn into us pranking people. To be honest.
Actually, later on, you might see me. There's a clip of Chris Taylor and Derb talking, and Chris Taylor's showing Derb how to airdrop different things, but he's like showing him how to change the name on his phone. So it doesn't say Derb's phone, it'll say 10% off True Tattoo Supply or
Right.
something of that nature.
Or anything. It's
Yeah, or
just-
anything you want. So I think
How
that's
people-
that's the thing is with airdrop and Bluetooth, we can be
No.
airwave terrorists already.
No.
You want the
Walkie-talkies.
analog airwave terrorists. All right. I'm not gonna knock it.
Especially if we can tap into the security.
Agent
that's there.
Beaver, where are you at?
Foxtrot,
here.
Foxtrot Bravo. Loud and clear.
What would my my squirrel name was my squirrel name. My CV name was the squirrel.
It'd be Bravo Tango, right?
Well, if you're doing it like all that way,
If you're getting official about it.
or it could be like
You got to admit, Foxtrot Bravo has a ring to it.
it does way better than mine
The squirrel.
squirrel. I was rad though.
Oh,
We had
look at this sea of people.
handheld.
If I had to
CDs.
count all the heads in that shot,
In our neighborhood had a local channel. And like they made you follow all the rules and all the things to be on it. So you had to have a handle and know all the break 1-6 radio check.
that's a big 10-4.
That's a big break one. check.
Roger Dodger. Where's the Roger come from?
It means confirm.
But why not confirm? Roger that.
Because
Is it short for like radio?
righteous brother, execute.
Oh, look at all that True Tattoo Supply shenanigans. We
Yeah, Fawn, I don't know, but somebody that has a computer might be able to Google that for us.
my hands are busy right now. You got one? The intern has one.
That's what I meant. What, this computer is just a screen. It's just here for looks.
Oh, just looks. Look at all the trophies.
Look at all the trophies.
And that's after we're down to day 2. So that's a third of the trophies given out already, and there's still a whole sea of them.
Roger stands for the military phonetic alphabet for the letter R, as in received, as in message received.
Nice. Thanks, Kyle. Message received. Roger Dodger.
What's that?
So if it's Roger Dodger, does it mean
Dodger?
you're like not
I think
accepting of
Dodger
the,
just
the
rhymes with it.
information?
Confirmation avoided, bro. Do not receive. Delete
Oh,
Roger Dodger, bro.
That's how I'm always gonna imagine it. This piece here turned out beautiful. I kind of watched this develop throughout the weekend. Sorry.
Good transition.
We can Roger some more.
Roger, Roger that piece.
Well, no, we liked it. We just want to Roger it. My guy is just like, this sucks,
Uh-huh.
but there's a camera, so I'm gonna sit real cool.
Gonna make it seem like it doesn't
he looks-
suck,
he looks
but
like a
it
pro.
sucks.
He looks like a pro. This poor tattooer that's gonna lean like 30 feet to get in there.
Hmm. Well,
You know,
that is one of the challenges of working on torsos.
I mean, he is also not a small person. Just in general.
Look at his banner.
So can I just,
Happy little tattoos.
my favorite banner is still the cardboard.
I forgot my banner. What if I got a banner printed that was on vinyl? Hear me out. Yeah, that actually like looked like it was.
I
It had like
do-
the
I do believe
type and drape behind it.
that would
I
ruin
could
the
just
Genesee
pick a color, the type and drape, and it'd be like a tattooer with a sign, pieces of cardboard, just like slightly crooked on the banner. I'd have to spell something wrong on purpose and like
No, you just make
underline
your-
it.
You just make your end backwards. Form
I could make my end backwards.
like the early 2000s metal group, or are we calling that metal?
I
New
could.
metal group.
Oh man.
Can we make you corn-esque font size?
If we're gonna go
please?
corn-esque, can we just go cheesy and make like a rip-off Jinko jeans advertisement?
Duh.
Some
Like,
like skate
duh.
shoes and a hacky sack.
My hacky sack was found.
Some
at the-
obnoxious
at the drugstore
Oakleys.
the other day, and the question was brought up. You can hacky sack? Yes, at one point in my life, but now I am geriatric and my knees don't bend that way.
Oh, this is where Chris was showing Derb how to be an airwave terrorist.
So if you want to send pictures of your junk to people and you don't know, no, that's not it.
Here's Jason working on wit.
That's a lot more appropriate than where I was going.
Now, Wit, the girl being tattooed, she owns a shop in Wooster, Ohio.
Wooster.
Yeah.
I know her.
Yeah,
She's
you remember Wit.
awesome.
Look at this Art Nouveau flower. It turns out so nice. I keep bouncing to his progress throughout the day.
Well, represent Ohio.
Mhm.
So you know how we always joke that no matter where you are on vacation, you will run into someone from Ohio.
Yes.
So I was talking to somebody just yesterday who was in another fucking country and ran into people at the bar from motherfucking Ohio. I was like, why is it no matter where we go, we find another one? Like it doesn't matter where, like country,
I don't know.
no, the country. The people at the bar next to them were from Ohio.
Maybe people from Ohio just know how to get out and see the world. Maybe we've been landlocked our whole life. We're ready to see things.
I wonder if it has more to do with travel availability, like how we book our flights.
It is incredibly easy to fly out of Ohio.
Okay.
Sorry, was I rushing you? I just didn't want to like smoke up all the little J because it was tasty and we got more of this.
No, you're good. Just there's a lot of weed there now.
I mean, so what happened is I lit this before I knew that there was another one lit.
I'm not mad. I just didn't realize there were two, and I looked down and there was two, and I was like,
Look at this noggin. It's a rose window. I don't know if you can see a real good angle of it this shot, but I get another shot of it later too.
he's like, you get out of my face. That's pretty.
Playing guitar in the middle of the aisle.
Oh, I'm sure he's cool.
Very nice.
I'm on Ben's side.
There's one of those things that I firmly believe in, and time and place is big on that list.
Well,
Time and motherfucking place, bruh. No,
At a convention with multiple thousands of people.
no
Probably
one
not.
wants to hear you bust out fucking campfire chords.
Or no one can hear you do it.
Or he's just having fun and I'm being a dick.
Most likely.
Yes.
But I'll die on that hill with you.
Thanks, Bobby.
look at the bounty. Stands out like a beacon. It's crazy how many people were there.
The blood goo picker upper.
It is a great blood goo picker upper.
What's that? Blood? Urine? Who knows? Bounty.
Look at how hard Jason's concentrating.
Look how hard Vic was concentrating.
She was out. Like I tried to talk to her and she was totally in a whole nother world. She had her music on and was oblivious to anything else.
I admire people that can tune out like that. I am not
Mhm.
that person. I'm like, you are stabbing me repeatedly. Wow. Crispy whippies.
No, Jason's very smooth. Love watching him work. He's incredibly meticulous, but in the finished product, it really shows.
Crispy whippies. Oh, well, hey, they're reinventing the tattoo.
Look at the caterpillar.
Oh, is it a 3D printed Alice in Wonderland caterpillar?
And he glows in the dark.
What? Who? You.
There we go. We get a good shot of this rose window.
That guy looks pumped that you're there.
Well, I mean,
I think he's just pumped about life right now, to be honest.
look at it though. It's really nice.
Crispy dome shots,
Mhm.
crispy dome shots.
I'm pretty sure you look like that after she left.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Head tattoos are another animal. Oh, Warren, somebody.
I have a lot of the suspension on here.
Hey guys,
These
there's
girls are
gonna be people
nuts.
swinging from hooks. Be ready. I hope you didn't just have dinner or whatever.
Well,
How? Is she getting pushed?
yeah,
There's
Carl,
a-
Carl, Dr. Blasphemy, he would, yeah, he grabs her by the feet and flings her.
See her pull her feet up like, no, sir.
Oh no, she's swinging herself. Nuts. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all.
Admire your courage. But
If I were up there, I'd be a floating corpse.
I did not film it because I'm classy like that, but she did lose her cookies immediately after she came down.
yeah,
Yeah, as soon as she felt
it's
the
called
ground
shock.
again. Yeah, she immediately lost her cookies. But like I said, I'm classy and I don't want to share those kind of things. Like I'll say, yes, it
classy.
happened. She was totally overwhelmed with all of the endorphins and adrenaline and all of the extra. But I'm not going to show it.
Look at homie. He's just like, yeah, man, it's just a spike.
Yeah, I think Carl said that this was his 5th suspension. So they said that this hook pattern was called the inverted angel wing.
Oh, okay. That's what my hook pattern is called too.
Thanks for the reference material. I might paint that later.
What, the hooks through the skin?
Yeah.
I mean, wait till you see them taking them out. Ugh.
Maybe I'll do that after my eyeball over there.
I don't know. I've been through some pretty intense pain and I've seen like some psychedelic kind of stuff happen from the pain, but it doesn't make me want to like chase it. It doesn't make me want to do these kind of things.
After your Mr. Ripple story,
Here you go, Kyle. Here's your reference. There you go.
Boom.
Ugh.
All right, inverted angel.
Don't get me
I'm-
wrong,
I'm-
it's
I'm
disgusting.
making this noise out of judgment. It just is literally kind of gross to me. No judgment whatsoever. Not for me, but also, ugh.
Yes,
That's how I feel on the inside. Or like my stomach just gets knotted up.
Just looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, like it's okay to watch this. Like if I've got my camera in my hand and I'm watching like through the camera and I'm just
screen.
trying to keep it centered, it's not so bad. But if I am like actually like watching closely and intently, like it's too much. I get a little queasy sometimes.
I wonder if that has something to do with like our being so mediated, for lack of a better term. We grew up filtering through a screen that we can make it not real by looking at it at an electronic,
it-
even though it's happening right.
I
in
think
front of
for
you,
me, it's because I'm looking at the whole scene and not like up and close up.
right.
It's
This guy
like
flinging
analyzing
himself
the
around.
composition instead of looking at something happening.
Yes. Like instead of watching the blood dripping down his back, I'm watching him flail.
And how he's like staying in the shot there. I like how they got the NASCAR style team ready to go. Pat him down, pat him down.
You see that there is no. That's concrete, man.
Yeah. I think he's also attached to like steel rafters though.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he
I'm
is.
not. I'm not talking. I'm talking about the concrete.
Look how high up he is, though.
More of. That's concrete
Yeah. That's fair.
and skin.
Skin and concrete don't go well together.
Do you know what I mean?
What?
I mean, there's a lot of things that can. There's no. I don't see a crash pad. Nobody's standing there with like a jump mat from the rock climbers to throw it underneath them.
Well, if there's this big guy back here. If you follow the rope, there's a guy that looks like a not small person, and he is controlling how high and low he goes and all of the things like that. So there is.
So he's gonna run out there and throw his body underneath this person when something goes wrong.
Well, I think his job would be to let him down softly should anything get wonky. Oh, that is another good point that you bring up with like the act of the suspension. You're also like putting your trust into other human beings. Like
Oh,
all the things
Is
that could
that
go
why I
wrong.
hate it?
Maybe
Because I have zero trust in anyone.
it
And my
could
general
be.
outlook on
It could
humans
be
are they're
where
trash
where I'm
people
like,
until
I would
you
never
them.
do that to my back piece. You're like, oh, I would never trust that person
Yeah.
holding the rope. Absolutely not.
Fawn, you're not big enough. Sorry.
Aw,
Yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
Ben.
We might need a couple extra pulleys on there and you can get her done. but
Strap my feet to some blocks.
Just tape you to the floor or something. He looks like he's having a blast though.
I mean, he really was. He was all about it.
I'm a big fan of anybody doing anything that makes them happy. And if this is how you are happy, I'm fucking pumped for you.
This is something cool. You don't always see suspensions at every tattoo convention anymore. I think there for a while it was kind of like a given. But I think at the Villain Arts shows, I think this is one of those staples. Like there's always such a big crowd for it. And everybody has their phones out. Everybody is like, I don't know. You can see people that are like, kind of grossed out or disgusted by it. You can see the people that are infatuated by it. You see people that are like, "Ooh, I could see myself doing that."
You got
Like-
the wind up and
It's got the whole cannonball.
Yeah, you see all the different reactions. Carl was actually saying that like every time he flicks and flails like that, it actually increases the gravitational force. So it like increases the pull on the skin to
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
I'm just
So like think about dropping a bowling ball on your toe as opposed to rolling a bowling ball over your toe. Right? Gravity,
yep.
terminal velocity, all these things. come
Look at
into
him
play.
flicking himself around like a weirdo. I shouldn't be like a weirdo, but look
That is
at
not the
him.
correct nomenclature
Just-
to describe our fellow
He
human
just-
beings.
Like
You
he's
know him on a
he's-
first name
he-
basis. I think you can
he's
say that.
enjoying this so much. Like he's really enjoying himself. And I can't even imagine voluntarily putting myself through this situation.
Um,
Look at him. He's so happy.
just-
Like he's having the time of his life. And he's
He's-
on such an adrenaline rush.
The time of his life. And I never do that before. No, I couldn't do that. No.
Have you seen where people will suspend from like their knees or the backs of their
Mm.
arms.
My
I've seen
buddy-
pictures of knees.
My buddy Michael Chance, goes from the top of his knees. Tops of his knees, so he has to fold over backwards when they pick him up. And that's his jam. Like he fucking loves it. He's also like been doing this since this has been this, like he's as OG gets. Matter of fact, he's one of the people with the qualified license. So when we had to use rigging at Hill City, was on staff.
Okay.
What's my point to all that? He goes on his knees and I can't watch him. I love him dearly.
I get a little
is-
queasy. And you know
I
me.
get very like,
I'm usually like,
he's gonna die.
when anything's going on, I gotta be like all up in it. I gotta know what's going on. I gotta like have my eyes on it. Like with my video camera, I like zooming in close. I like watching the thing.
I am
but, like,
105, worry too much.
I will make myself queasy when I'm watching this stuff. I will. I can't watch too closely. I gotta like a couple minute limit and then I gotta go do something else.
I wasn't a big fan before meeting Robbie. And then after meeting Robbie and watching that all just go super, super sideways, super, super fast. It really, these things make me
there's-
scared.
Captain Maybell.
Capitan. I like his new mustard vest. Capitan's got some style. Okay.
Yeah, him do.
Him and I have sat down and compared before. I'm like, I see that you've got the Dickies Series 187 with you can fold down the button strap there. I got
Got the
maple
finishing
stripes.
touches of this caricature. You never get to catch this on video.
Character drawings.
Caricature? Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Caricature.
There's an extra curve in
Yeah.
it. Caricatures.
So there's like character and then there's caricature.
So one's an exaggeration.
Boom.
Caricatures are an exaggeration.
Look at Jason concentrating. He's so like serious.
Well, yeah.
So serious.
I
All the
agree
time.
with his disposition. Oh, how cocky. They brought a roof. They were
There's
ready for
Mika.
all inclement weather. Hi, Mika. She's a wicked fast artist, huh?
Wicked fast. Yep.
I love me boys at wicked fast.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
1807 Collective. Here's Amber Joy. She does some pretty rad magic stuff.
She won fucking best large color in Philly.
Did she?
Yeah.
Good for her.
It was baller as fuck too.
Good for her. Here's Don Don.
I love
We
Don Don.
actually need to trade shows with Don Don. He would like to do a guest spot out here at Red Tree and actually join us in person for an episode, which would be rad.
Listen to me argue. Oh, I wasn't gonna argue. You didn't have to listen.
I was watching. We got the tattoo history corner here.
Chris Brandt,
No.
or is this somebody different?
I've smoked too much weed to remember.
The people.
There was like a
today.
row of like classic OG tattooers, and I'm not sure
Love
which one of them
it.
brought this along.
Super sharp.
Yeah. All the original Flash. It's crazy how far tattooing has come. And it's one of those things where I feel like we don't talk about tattoo history quite enough, but all the more reason to have Chris join us again.
Absolutely.
Look at those different machines and the power supplies.
I think I've
Bread
tattooed with
boxes.
Some of those
See that foot switch in the background?
acetate stencils.
Pretty crazy.
Billy
Look at that.
Eddie.
Yeah. Look at that ink bottle. Is it an ink bottle or a makeup bottle?
What's up, tattooers? Oh, hey.
Philadelphia Eddie obviously was like godfather of tattooing. Was it last year that he passed away?
If not the year before, but yes, very recently.
This was so cool. Once I got in there and realized what he was doing with this octopus. His banner. I don't know if I know I got a shot of his banner, but it's him coming out of a crock.
Oh, yeah, this dude's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He
I
was
also
in
like the
Phoenix.
way that like his tattoo machine and the ink match in
Right.
this shot. I don't think I could have planned that.
He was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Possibly this year. He was also a super nice guy.
This is far enough into the day now that I can really get some progress with what's going on. I thought this was nice. At first I saw like the razor blade, and once I got in there, I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I had to creep in a little closer.
By order of the Peaky Blinders. That's a show I have tried to get into. I love the premise. I love
Ooh,
everything
look at
about
this
it,
piece.
but I can't follow the accents. I get lost and then I stop paying attention. That's super dark. I love it. Put it in bold. Who is the artist? Oh, yeah,
David De La Cruz.
that makes sense.
See the way I pan and get the banners like
Good
that?
job, fine.
Uh-huh. Oh, here we go. There's all the blacks in Witt's arm. This is the one that Jason's been working on throughout the
Great.
day.
Crispy, crispy.
Even as they get into that ditch area, it stays very, very precise.
Crispy.
It's funny that there is a moment when they stopped and Witt leaned up. She's like, he's got to turn that machine down. Don't we all feel that way when we're getting worked on? Isn't it always like the machine's too fast, the machine's too deep, the machine's like,
I don't know. I just sit there because I don't know.
all the action in the True Tubes booth.
True tube action.
Getting in there with the color. I love watching other people tattoo up close like this. I
Right.
could like as much time as I spend doing it, I still don't get tired of watching. It's like just the gratification of watching the saturation happen. The like wall to wall, smooth, saturated just enough, but not too much. His eyebrows aren't furrowed as much. Looking so nice.
Crispy,
Witt's conscious now.
kind of. She's still in her headphones, you can tell. Got that very, very slight bob to the beat.
Uh-huh. That was it. That was our Philly footage.
Ba, 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 ba.
I thought I had a final shot of the flower. There were teals in it. I wonder if it's on Jason's page
Probably.
or Witt's. Oh. Thanks, Cal.
Good job, Kyle. Look at the intern being all good at his job.
Way to go. Nice. I'm just gonna jump up and do that. Teamwork.
Kyle, yeah, good job.
So it was Philly. I said it like 1,000 times. It was huge. There were
Yeah,
crazy amounts of people.
looks like a lot going on.
Yeah. It was nice though. It was, like I said, it was like really good quality artists. Like every company that like brought really good artists.
Good.
It definitely wasn't one of those like, apprentice. There weren't apprentices
Right.
tattooing, and you know what I mean? And I'm not knocking that. I'm just
Right.
saying like this, everybody
That is
really
true.
was
That
doing
is
their
fine.
best work.
You expect
Um,
to see a couple of apprentices.
Yeah, there were just, and I've been to a lot of shows now and I pay attention and like, I take my camera and I zoom in close on stuff and I see what's going on and,
So what you're saying is
these
you're
were
judging
some
people
good
harshly.
artists. I'm not saying I'm judging people harshly. I'm just saying I've seen a lot of shows with a lot of artists and this was like a very high caliber of artists at this show. Which is awesome for a show that's so big. And it
Right.
just means that there are more of those caliber of artists out there. Sorry, Ben.
No, the raps are just choking me up.
Well, I'll order a new flavor.
I ain't mad at it. I just
But-
don't, I haven't been using wraps as much lately. Been using papers a lot more,
Mhm.
helping that.
That's fair. I've actually been smoking out of a bowl a little bit. Now that I'm not smoking swishers, that's all right to smoke out of a bowl every now and then.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I still run that when I'm at home. I've still got my like little baby bubbler. But like I haven't had just like a pipe in a long time.
Hmm.
They always go missing.
Mine doesn't usually leave my coffee table.
Well, see, now that there's less people in the house, I'm sure I might be able to keep them around. But back when I was using them, it always seemed to be there as a communal living type situation. And my things always went missing.
No.
So yeah,
Anyways, I feel like I don't miss the nicotine. I didn't have headaches or anything. I was afraid I was gonna like
right.
have headaches or all of the downside of like, so I was smoking like a lot of swishers. Well, just the wraps, not the whole swisher,
I'm with you.
the burrito.
The burritos. Not the Philly.
Nope, not that. So I switched to these nicotine free wraps and now that they're just hemp. So it's like hemp on hemp on hemp. And I don't know,
Huh? Should be better. Is that what we're saying?
should be less bad, more
Less-
good,
More good.
mostly good.
Headed towards a better direction.
Moving on.
Yeah, I've been back on the Raws for a while now. I feel like they're the appropriate harshness for what I want in my life. That, unless it's a group activity, sometimes rolling a blunt just is a lot of work for me to only smoke half of it anyway.
Hmm.
It's generally the full relax time is there.
I don't usually smoke half.
Yeah, I know. We friends, fun.
It's not a contest.
It never is. I'm just saying, most of the time I'm either bored or have something I need to do. By the time I get halfway through.
That's fair. That's fair. So we've got some shows coming up.
We do.
With True Tattoo Supply, we've got like a show a month for the next few months, and then Hell City's coming up soon already.
It's so weird to think that, well,
And then Indy.
I mean, it's 6 months.
So we got Pittsburgh, and then we've got Detroit. And then what do we have after Detroit?
After Detroit is Chicago.
Then Chicago,
Chi-town.
And
Yep.
then that's the last one before
then Hell City.
Hell City, yeah.
Nice. So
Hell
we'll
City
be
just comes up so fast.
minimally, we'll be having a probably like pre-show, like the evening before most of those shows. And then the Thursday after we'll be like sharing the footage and coverage.
Yeah.
It's like real convention season again.
It's when does convention season stop? I feel like there's so many now that it's just like they're spaced out pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in reality, if you look at the World Tattoo Events calendar, there are multiple conventions going on every weekend. It's not just like a handful going on across the country throughout the year. It's like there's a handful going on throughout the country every weekend.
Right.
Like there's one in each region every weekend, it seems like.
I am agreeing with you. It's just crazy to me to think that there used to be like 3. It
Mhm.
used to be Easy Rider, Chillicothe Rodeo, and Hell City. You know, like that.
I mean, there were more than that, but that was, I guess, if you were in Ohio, that's where you get exposed.
Nationwide.
But the Easy Rider days,
Big dog motorcycle tattoos all day.
all day.
Want that shovel head motor? I'm your man. How many Harley Davidson emblems have you changed slightly?
You mean to avoid copyright infringement?
Yeah.
I always put like a slant to them, or I'll like hand draw the lettering, or sometimes they want, I just want the Harley Davidson just the way it is. Well,
Well, here's the
alright.
kid. I'm gonna put a registered trademark sign on the bottom right hand corner.
Who do I send the cut to?
Yeah. Here's my 1350.
I don't know. I feel like the emblem would have to be impeccably done to actually copyright infringe.
Like
You know
you're
what I
a
mean?
Slouch or something? What
Well,
was that?
I'm just saying, like, it's pretty like hard to get all those letters like spot on point.
Yeah.
Pretty hard. Like, it's not an easy thing to really do. I mean, you could do the bar and shield, but I mean, I guess that constitutes as a little trademark, but
I can't draw
but
stick.
free advertisement, you know what I mean?
You'd think that. You'd
Huh.
think that. But instead they're like, you know what you do? You owe me money.
Speaking of money, here's this thing.
What?
Remember how I was talking about forensic tattoo a few weeks ago? Let me see if I can find the post and I'll share it. This was not where'd it go?
French tattoo. French tattoo.
So the discussion being had on this post was these athletes that have tattoo work all over them,
Mhm.
and then they have their likeness recreated in their games.
Mhm.
Does the tattoo artist deserve anything for the work that they then replicated on these NBA players? And
So, do you think that the game designers are putting exactly, I mean, other than like Tyson's face tattoo,
if I
name
can
another
pull this.
athlete's tattoo off the top of your head? I don't sports ball or hockey puck or whatever. So like,
You don't sport ball.
no, I mean,
All right, let me share this business.
share that me.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Screen one, share. So
Oh, goodness. Well, there we go. There's the Tyson.
photographer suing Kat Von D over using his photo for a tattoo. Like, does the photographer is the photographer entitled to a cut of the tattoo if she used his work as a reference? Tattoo artist successfully sues 2K for replicating their designs on a WWE 2K wrestler.
I think that one was pretty recent.
I mean, these are all pretty stinking
I-
recent,
I
but
guess
this is
I
a pretty
forget
new
that
precedent.
I am
While we're on the
103,
like,
and I forget that video games can be very realistic.
yeah, you're like,
nowadays.
how real could it look? Pretty stinking real.
Which one's the characters to the left?
This one
Yeah.
is the video game. This
Oh.
one is the real photo.
Oh, okay. I think that just proved the point a little bit. Maybe.
But like, okay, so in my
See, that one's
opinion,
way different.
I own my tattoos, the collector, the me. They are part of me.
Yeah.
So if
You
somebody
sold the-
replicated my likeness, my tattoos are part of that likeness. I've already paid the artist who did the
Right.
work. They've, in my opinion, like I
bought
understand
painting.
that these, yeah,
It's now your painting.
but it's also
If
me.
you want to
It's
sell, right,
my-
but if you want to sell that painting now, or piece of that painting, that's your prerogative, right?
Yeah,
It's yours.
absolutely.
So it's my skin.
If I
Right.
want to show it off and charge to show it off, and
That's-
if they
it's-
want to replicate
it's
my
not-
likeness, it's a part of my likeness.
I paid the artist. Now, when you're looking at the situation where you are directly talking about that person, and you know what I mean? Like the Mike Tyson thing, I get that. Because that was very mainstream, Mary, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I see both sides of the coin.
I would definitely see it, but in my opinion, I
Like
feel
that
like,
doesn't look the same to me.
I mean,
They look similar, but the one on the left goes all the way up his collarbone, where this one is basically the ball of his shoulder. The one in
well,
the
and the thing
cartoon
is,
is lighter.
these guys go and get scanned for these things. Like they stand in front of all these like 3D cameras and they're scanned from every angle. So they're like,
Right.
I would just go back to like, if you're replicating this player's likeness, then the tattoos are part of their likeness, and that
Right.
just is what it is.
I agree with that.
Like if you wanted to maybe credit who did some of this players, or like I don't know. I don't
Did the-
even know
did
if
the
it's
player
like one of
actually
those
just sign
things.
Tattoo.
Well,
Do you see my point?
yeah,
Do you see my point?
yeah. I feel like this is just like a weird discussion that's going to be happening a lot. Like we've heard about trademarked things, but like it's a skull and smoke.
Right. Is Cherry Creek Flash. Did I say it right? That picture is on 32 different tattoo studios in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh
There are
man.
no less than 14 people from your local high school that have that exact same eagle.
But like, how many times have I used the like photos like same exact way that Kat Von D did? Just I don't have the same profile to catch the attention of the artist or photographer whose work I might have referenced or used. I mean, you know what I do when I'm searching for tattoo ideas for new projects is I will
Search that
Google
tattoo.
search like whatever the topic is, comma, fantasy art. So I'm always looking at other artists' work.
Right.
I just use a specific keyword to jump down a rabbit hole that brings me eye candy that I like.
So here's my gig, right? Did this guy come in with this picture and say, I want this photo on my arm?
Probably.
So who owes credit to the photographer? The collector?
Or well,
Or the
collector would be
tattoo
the person
artist.
who commissioned the work to be done, though.
Correct.
The artist is just a laborer in this equation.
Correct. So who needed to get permission to use the likeness of that?
See,
Is it the
it's such a
collector's
touchy
responsibility because they are the ones that are now
Such a
duplicating their
touchy
art and their
little-
body?
little conversation that's popping up. But anyways, I just thought since
No,
you
I
brought
think
up
it's
the
cool.
Harley Davidson thing,
I think it's cool.
calls his back tattoo
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Oh. Maybe. They will probably just start including a release. An image release form that encompasses your tattoos.
You know, when I had my studio, I did have like one of the lines on my consent form was actually a a photo release.
Right?
So it gave me the
Right.
right to
Use
take
your
their
image
photo and then use their photo.
for profit.
Yeah, or just
Marketing
my own.
for-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep.
I mean,
Any.
you have to look at marketing as for
Mhm.
profit because you're using that image to attract business. So you have to. I didn't mean it like you're going to resell their photo of their art,
But I could.
but she could.
But I could.
But like there's more. So yeah,
This one I thought was funny. Yeah.
get into the game.
Let me go back. We'll do the screen share thing, share sound. Kyle, I'm getting still not good at this, but It's okay.
You're doing great.
Thanks. Thanks for the encouragement.
Savvy-ish,
Yeah.
savvy-ish.
Semi-savvy.
Oh, where's our sound?
Need more tattoos. Having spent a great deal of time with many of you, can I just say, maybe we should try therapy. It's kind of this thing in the tattoo industry where people are like, I don't need therapy, I just need more tattoos. Having spent a great deal of time with many of you, can I just say, maybe we should try therapy. It's kind of this thing in the tattoo.
What do you think about that? The people that like tattoo therapy and yada yada. We talk about it all the time.
I'm happy with what makes you happy.
Yeah. Maybe you should try real therapy.
Real.
Like, yes, tattoo therapy, but also and in addition to.
It depends on what your what type of healing are you looking from the experience? Because if you are thinking that having somebody tattoo you is going to solve your mental anguish, there's some gap in there that needs to be filled.
Are you anguished?
I'm always anguished. My life is navigating one anguish to the next. But if you are getting tattooed because you want the personal encounter, you want the touch component, you want the pride, you want the stick-to-itiveness of maintaining your appointment schedule, and you want you get what I'm saying. There's a whole nother aspect of that can be looked at as positive reinforcement for new behaviors.
Mhm.
But if you're like, blast me open because the pain feels good, the only way I feel is if I bleed, you might
wanna
want to
talk to somebody.
off of this one. Or someone that gets paid to talk about their feelings and not me. Moon.
I think there are some people that use the process of getting tattooed as almost like an empowering thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people feel like they're out of control in their life or in their whatever situation it is, but they can take control of their body. They can do this thing. They can make this transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the image matters. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's just about like harnessing control.
So
And that's a pretty cool therapeutic thing with tattooing, but like in
depending
addition
on
to
your-
maybe
depending on your what's the right word, expectations of therapy, that might not be the best to recommend.
maybe when we wrap up.
Thanks. I love when people show up with snacks. It's one of my favorite things.
As I'm sitting here snacking away on this is actually just like a Lindt cookies and cream chocolate. Do you want some more?
Give it to my baby. Thank you.
Non-weed candy. It's just regular candy. I do eat regular candy sometimes.
Sometimes. I always ask though.
Mm,
We've
Fair.
all eaten the accidental 100 ml, like, oh look,
Oh man,
I
got-
had things to do today, guys.
yeah, I took a Starburst one time.
Uh-huh.
One. Do you know how big a Starburst is? It's like 1 by 1 by a half.
Oh yeah.
So it's a tiny, chewy candy, strawberry flavored.
Mhm.
One.
Mhm.
I ate one. I popped it. Just like it was like a 10 or a 15 or maybe a 30 milligram edible. I just popped it.
And you were
I had to lay down.
because hear me out, right? Do you know what a Tootsie Roll is? I got a Deca Chew in the size of a Tootsie Roll.
A Deca Chew.
Do you know what that is?
What?
Mhm.
Say that again.
Well, let's do the math on
A Deca Chew.
Mhm.
So deck would be 10 or 100.
that. Then,
Okay.
so it's 10,000 milligram combined.
Oh, a 10 gram. You got a 10 gram gummy.
And just
Yeah.
Because
You
somebody
probably
went,
had some weird dreams.
here
thinking
you
of-
go. And they handed me a Tootsie Roll sized piece of candy that I did the same. I'm like, oh, this is probably a 15 mil, something like that. Nope. 99. I had so much shit to do.
Fortunately, this was a day off, but like I did have stuff to do. Like,
So
you know,
much
I
shit
can
to
be
do.
lazy and I can just like sloth away an entire day and enjoy myself doing it.
Nope.
Like day well spent if I don't leave my house. I'm cool with that.
Shit to do.
Anyways,
I was
I
out.
had to lay down on my couch.
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually fall asleep, but I had to have like one leg on the floor.
I'm gonna touch the back of the couch, one foot on the floor, and if I touch my ear,
And I'd been
We're good.
smoking weed all day too. And like
we're good.
my regular regimen of edibles, I did not expect 100 milligrams out of one tiny little itty bitty. So anyways, size,
Sneak a dose.
size of, it'll sneak up on you.
Tootsie Roll. Decache.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Well, we got through the Philly coverage. Yeah.
You're so fucking
I did this in just a few minutes. I was sitting here hitting my vape pen before but I did get all of our footage ready ahead of time. So minimal editing. And we stayed really on point this episode. Like we keep talking about editing, but this was actually pretty like
Ding, ding.
not so bad on
Hmm.
the rabbit holes.
Well,
We're getting good, Ben. It's like being mindful of the chore of editing. It's like, why don't we just do a good job the first time and like not have as much stuff that we would need to cut out? Yeah, but they're like better.
Well, it's also easier to stay on topic when we have one.
Fair.
A lot of times we're just here like, hey, tattoo.
Or we'll have like a loose subject, or I'll have something in mind, and then the conversation immediately derails to something else.
Like, never mind.
But we got into some of the Instagram gems.
Mhm.
Anything
What
else
else
you
you
can
got?
think of?
What else you got on there?
My next dash was anything else. So
That's a good dash.
Like Ladasha
la
dash. Because the dash don't be silent.
don't be.
Ladasha.
It don't be. What about these apostrophes? Are these apostrophes gonna stay silent?
Depends. Depends on context.
That's fair. It's super fair. Well, I'm not sure what we're getting into next week yet. I should have a lineup for us. I've got several people that I've talked to that are ready to join us on another episode. I just kind of gotta get things scheduled. Now that I'm chilling and not on the road for a few weeks, we should be able to kind of continue the ball.
I like balls.
We've got Wes joining us again. Oh, I saw Wes several times over
Yeah.
the weekend.
He said you guys were like 30 feet apart.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'm headed to Philly. I was like, well, you know, the crew's there. If you see somebody, say hi.
Mhm.
He was like, they're
He was in our
literally
hotel,
30
too.
feet
Yeah, we were in the same hotel, so we saw each other like coming and going
Big-
many times.
You went up the state and you ended up running into a bunch of people from Ohio.
Isn't it funny how that works?
Imagine that.
Huh.
Imagine.
You know what I want to know? How come right now? And I know it comes and goes and it's like ebbs and flows, but how come like in all of the memes and the TikToks and the Twitters and the Instagrams, how come Ohio is the butt of all the jokes right now?
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
I had this conversation with Brandon the other day.
Why is that?
I don't know,
Yeah,
because as someone who's not from Ohio, I'm just used to it being the butt of the joke.
Well, I mean, it
Jealousy.
is it jealousy
Yeah.
because we got all the cool stuff.
All the cool stuff.
I feel like it's a scapegoat situation.
Mhm,
Everyone just kind of collectively agrees.
fair.
Yeah.
Well,
Like it may not
Ohio,
always be
you'll
one.
find it here.
Wait a sec. Just give Florida a minute.
Well, see,
They will-
that's a whole nother
They
level.
will fire this bitch right back up in a minute. Everybody Google.
Florida's level.
No,
Google Florida man.
tag. You know what I mean?
You can
If you search Ohio man, you just get a mullet.
Right.
You search Florida man,
you
it's
get
hard.
lists. So hear me out. You can Google Florida man in your birthday, and it will have a special individualized story that came out on your birthday.
Oh wow,
I have
that's fantastic.
I've never heard it not work. You know what I mean?
That's fantastic.
You're fantastic.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to search it. My birthday.
It's
Well, we've reached the end, I believe. I mean, we could keep talking. It's
No.
only been an hour and a half.
no one
But-
really wants to hear me.
We could ramble some more.
Time has come. The end
All
is
right.
near.
Well, tune in next week. We'll have some more tattoo education. I'll have some different, well, I'm gonna have some different segments lined up. I'm also gonna start having some segments with my clients from throughout the week. So we might have like a 10 or 15 or 20-minute discussion with one of my clients as we're going. So it's gonna be a new thing we'll introduce next week.
Oh, all right.
So as we're getting better at sharing extra footage and material and what have you.
So
Stepping
join
it
in,
up.
all you tat curious people.
Yeah. See what I'm up to over the next, however long. Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
All you cool cats and kittens.
You heard they found her husband, right?
Where was he?
Alive
Where?
and down in like Costa Rica or wherever he
where-
flew to
where
in
he
his
said he was
private
hiding?
jet. Yeah, where he said he was going the whole time. Yeah. So not fed to any cats.
Damn.
So all you crazy cats and kittens.
Goddamn Carol Baskin. Sorry. And on that note, good
All
evening.
right. See you next week.
Cat curious.